Hi there guys, my name's Action Dan and welcome to my next video. Now this video is the biggest video and the most important moment in my life I've ever done with my hobby videos, and that was proposing to my wife. Now I thought about proposing to my future wife way back ever since I was like 15 years of age in high school. To some of you that might be special, others might think that's creepy, but why I did that was I always thought it was weak how there wasn't that many ways that people would propose to their wife, and they were usually very stereotypical, weak and common. Like the guy that thinks he's the only one that's going to take his wife to the expensive restaurant that he's never been to and he's never going to take her again, and he'll put the ring in the glass of wine and ask the waiter to bring it in, and he'll think that that's all his own idea when it's not. It's the most common thing you can do. Or the guy thinks he's special because he put the ring in the cake for dessert at the end of the expensive meal. That's really weak, guys. Don't do that. I think if you get married, it's only meant to be once. Like they say, till death do you part. So if you're going to propose to your wife once and get married once, I think it's one of the biggest moments of your life, and the way that you propose to your wife should be thought about for years, and you should make it very individual. And that's what I did. I started off with expensive ideas like flying an airplane to a restaurant or something, but then I thought I can't really afford that, and 90% of the time I'm proposing to her, it's going to be waiting in an airport and getting on and off the plane. So I thought, okay, ditch that, it's expensive and she'll be tired and she'll fall asleep before I get to the restaurant on the other side of Australia. So I thought, what can I do that is incredibly rare, individual, amazing to see, and doesn't cost a fortune? And I thought, I know, I could take my wife to the most amazing place in Australia I've ever been, and that's nearly for free. You just got to spend a bit of petrol money in getting there. So that's what I did. I drove my wife to a secret spot, I'm not going to tell you, down on the bottom of Australia, along the Great Australian Bight it's called, and it's the most remote and beautiful place I've ever been by far in my entire lifetime. When I went there the first time, I was astonished walking along the private property coastline spot, how I looked everywhere and I couldn't see any form of human life. There was no airplanes, there was no boats out in the ocean, there was no road to get me there, and there was no signs of footprints from other people walking around, nothing. And that's where I took my wife to propose to her. She found it amazing and she cried for hours after I proposed to her. So that's it, that's enough ramble. We'll get into my video now, straight after my intro.
Action Dan, the greatest hero of them all.
Me and Esther are ready to leave on our road trip now. Got everything ready, and it's very important to understand that we're trained professionals. We've been on a lot of road trips now, and there's a lot of newbies out there that make the same silly mistakes, and they can be fatal. It's important everyone understands you spend a long time getting your stuff ready. Got plenty of food, drinking water, dropping off your friend's ceramic bowl that you borrowed. Find somewhere completely random to set up tent and camp the night before we go to our beautiful spot tomorrow. Make that long drive a lot easier. We've already chopped off like 40% of the drive, so tomorrow will be a piece of cake. Doing it all in one day's drive is a little bit too hard, and I tell you, where'd all the summer heat go?
Well, I say the weather is just fine.
Alright, end of day one's driving, time for bed. Esther, do you have any comments as to why we're setting up our tent alongside a highway?
I'll just tell you about it tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Oh, I didn't even know the forest could be closed.
Proposing to Esther road trip, day 2.
Oh, at least we kind of found a soft spot where we could pitch a tent. Not too bad.
Ah, another beautiful day.
On the road again. Something, something, something on the road again. I don't know the words, but I'm on the road again.
Just telling Esther about when you and me come here, Kian. We got here a little bit before dark, went on a romantic hike together. This was early days in our relationship when we only just formed. The hiked up here before dark, went back to campsite next day, went for a big hike that didn't go too well.
All right, stop. I just got to pause it right there and tell you an awesome story. It's not really related to getting married, but it's too good not to mention. About 2 years earlier, me and my best friend Kien had come out to this mountain, Mount Remarkable, and it was the middle of spring. And I said, hey, I'm bored. Let's go hiking this mountain. We'll park our car on one side of the mountain and park a second car on the other side of the mountain. We'll finish in the second town and we'll spend all day long hiking this mountain. It's only like 25-kilometer hike. That's easy. Okay, a 25-kilometer hike on flat ground is easy. But the one part I didn't think about is how the walking trail is incredibly steep, up and down, constantly going up a mountain. So the 25-kilometer challenge turned into more something like the feeling of a 100-kilometer challenge. At the start of the mountain hike, I was just constantly poking Ken with a stick, telling him, hurry up, get moving. And then as soon as the sun came out, about 2 p.m, the roles kind of swapped. Now Ken is at the front and he's waiting for me, telling me to hurry up. By the end of the day, the sun is set, it's 9 p.m, we've been hiking all day long for something like 12 hours, and I'm just completely dead. It's dark and I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. And then I thought, well, hang on, if you're completely dead now and you're only at the top of the hill, yeah, getting down is easier, but that's still half the distance. If you feel like you can barely move now, then you're not going to be able to do the hike tomorrow. And the next thing I thought of was, this was probably also in the remote area, our last chance of mobile phone reception at the top of the hill. So I sacrificed all my dignity and I said to my friend, well, we got to call emergency services because when the sun comes up tomorrow, I probably haven't even got enough energy left in me to hike down the hill. So that's what I did. I rang up the local emergency services and I got drilled big time by the local big fat town cop. The volunteer that came out to pick us up in the Toyota Land Cruiser, she was a friendly girl, took us down the hill and told us pub stories for 2 hours. And yeah, I'll leave it there. It was a bit demeaning and not the most fun hike I've ever been on. Anyways, I guess I should get back to the other story of getting married. I remember when me and Kien come here the first time hiking this mountain. We thought we'd save a tiny bit of time and hike down the cliff in a straight line back towards the campsite. And I tell you, didn't really save any time at all. What do you reckon, Esther? You gonna take the shortcut?
Well, the shortcut looks interesting, but hiking's better than dying.
Well, this tree's cool. It's just completely hollow. It must have been dead for like hundreds of years.
The kids have been drawing pictures on them. Someone's got like texture or something.
Writing their name.
Let's see if I fall over and break an ankle. As they say, good luck, break a leg. Well, it's a lot easier than expected.
Yeah.
Now it's time for a quick breakfast.
Well, I'm eating dry noodles right at the moment.
That's why every time I'm on like day 4 of a camping trip or something like that, I don't even care about cooking. I just eat it as it is. It's just not worth the effort. That emu is sure getting closer and closer and gaining confidence. You can't even read the sign. It says no feeding the emus.
Now this thing's incredibly interesting. I saw a documentary about this thing by pure coincidence just a couple of months before we came on this trip, and I was surprised as we're driving past it to actually see it. What it is, in short, is a power generator. They just get water and salt to make the water easier to boil and point thousands of mirrors at the center and just boil it like a giant kettle, and then the steam blasting out spins turbines to generate power. There's only meant to be a couple of these in the entire world at the time, and we were one of them. Quite interesting. Make sure you check it out on YouTube if you want.
Like my painting?
It's beautiful.
Of course, this isn't the first one. I also did the ones on the way to Melbourne. That's quite magnificent.
Now the spot that I'd chosen to propose to Esther was great, but the one thing I didn't plan on was how long and boring this drive would be.
Oh, it wasn't that bad, Danny. We got to see lots of interesting things along the way.
Here now, it's a magnificent spot. Oh yeah, I remember the water coming in here. This is really, really quiet ocean, so you don't get to see it this time, unfortunately. But I remember when I came here the previous time, waves just come in really slowly down the corridor, like a wave, just going come in slow, and then get to the back of that and bang! And it just spit water out because it's got nowhere to go. And then it'll go back, and then the next one roll over the top of the previous one, bang, and spit stuff out. And who knows, maybe even last time I came here, maybe this is like another half a meter deeper or something. It is a funny spot. We've got overinflated surfer and a giant pair of phones. Okay, are we in Africa or something? A bit strange.
Now you can't see it on my facials as I'm driving the car, I'm doing a pretty good job hiding it. But the whole way there as we're driving for hundreds of kilometres, I just couldn't stop thinking endlessly. How am I going to do this proposal thing to Esther when we get there?
Oh, it's nice coming back here after so long. I mean, it's always good to try something new, but it's definitely been, what, a good 8 years or something since I was here. I think I can even remember where I got a park, which is funny.
She's beautiful.
So Esther, are you taking her home? You're a good little dog, aren't you, sweetheart? Maybe we'll get a dog one day.
Hey, girl. Big lick on the nose.
The dog chased after us, the owner's dog. With that dog, I said, like, we've got to be careful because the dog may have never been here before. We don't want to freak the dog out and the dog run away. And then I see the dog run straight over here. And I'm like, yeah, something's telling me this dog's been here before. And we see a sign saying down. I'm like, okay, show off. She's done this.
She goes.
We don't need to make sure she doesn't get lost. She's making sure we don't get lost. Alright, let's go down and have a look. Doggy, it's a pretty girl.
See you, Natalie. Dance club. See you in there, party.
Now I'm just going to set up time lapse. Look at that, we're extremely lucky, even got a full moon. Oh, goodbye, we'll come back tomorrow. Let's hope the fella's dog doesn't disappear. Forgot her name again.
Mia.
Another long, awesome day. And now we head back to our little bungalow, or whatever the hell they're called. The dog had a great fun coming with us.
Alrighty, so anyways, that's the end of my first half of the video. I'm just going to end it here and split it up for two very good reasons. Number one, it's a long video and not everyone's going to watch the whole thing, so I'll split it in half. And number 2, this is about the point here where on day 2, tomorrow morning, I'm going to go out on the coast again. We're going to have a nice walk on the beach. The only problem is maybe we're kind of naked on the beach, and maybe the heavy pixelation I've done is still not enough to not shatter some people for life. So if you want to see this gorgeous body, heavily pixelated, walking technically nude on a beach before I propose to my wife, then keep watching. Click on the link at the end of the video and you can watch part 2 of this. Or if you think that this video is good but you'll just keep your sanity while it lasts and you'll end it there, then you know, leave me a like and don't worry about the second video. Anyway, see you guys next time.
Action Dan, the greatest hero of them all.
As I explained, if you want to keep watching the second half of my video and watch me propose to my wife in the most insane way imaginable, click on that link on the left. Please subscribe. Or if you're just after one of my random outdoor adventures, click on the link on the right.